Twin? Welcome back to Passing the Torch. I'm your host, Barbaros Arslan, and this is Samuel Eugene. Big news in the NFL world. Reports are coming out that Dak Prescott was offered a 5-year, $175 million deal, and he turned it down.
Who would have thought, man? How much money this kid want, man?
Bro, he would have been the highest paid quarterback. He would have been getting the 35 mil a year that he was looking for, that range that we talked about in one of our last videos.
I think it came down to the years, how long it is, the length of the contract.
Yeah, I think he was only looking to sign like a 3-4 year deal. A lot of players nowadays, we see that's where most of the money guarantee is in those 3-4 year deals, and then they also get a shot at free agency. And I mean, he wanted north of 45 mil for his last year. That would have put them in a cap situation, a really bad spot. I feel like, that's crazy. I'm blown away.
Just to get the details ironed out, I think the contract was exactly 175 million over 5 years, which would make him the highest paid QB. That's about $35 million yearly. The breaking point seems to be in the last year of the contract. Dak wanted at least $45 million, and I see what he's trying to do there. I think what a lot of guys are trying to do is football is different than basketball. In football, you get one chance to really cash in on that big contract to really get your payday.
Get guaranteed
versus
money. Yeah.
As basketball, you know what I mean? Guys have chance. Goddamn, dudes are getting 3 contracts. You know what I mean? 3 big contracts out of basketball. Football, you really only got one big time to cash in. But some guys, if you play your cards right, if you do it right, they can cash in twice. I think that's what Dak is trying to do here. I think he's trying to get this big contract, play 4 years, and then cash in on another big contract at that 5th year.
Because it may not even be Dallas, not to cut you off, that will give him that, that'll bring him back and make him, the highest paid quarterback again 4 years from now.
Are we talking about him going to another team and getting paid?
I mean, maybe, bro. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen it before in recent years. One of the most recent, Ryan Tannehill. Yes, okay. Now he's not nowhere near on the same level as Dak Prescott, but Cat balled out for 1 year. Did his little bit of a stint, and he's getting paid you're almost 20-something mil a year.
You're really. I feel like you're really making a point that is gonna reinforce what I'm about to say right here. My warning to Dak is be careful about playing hardball with the Cowboys. Be careful trying to play with that open water, because Dak might be worth 175 million to the Cowboys. He might be worth 175 million on that team. But if we're talking on the free market versus other top quarterbacks, I'm not sure if he is in the same category as some of these other top paid quarterbacks. Let me just read you a couple names. Here are some of the other top-paid quarterbacks in the league.
Top 5, yeah.
Russell Wilson, $35 million a year. Big Ben, $34 million. Aaron Rodgers, $33.5. Jared Goff, $33.5. Kirk Cousins, $33 million. And Carson Wentz, $32 million. Now, right off the top of my head, and this is not me being a biased Redskins fan, Dak is not better than Russell Wilson, Big Ben, or Aaron Rodgers. I think that's easily said.
Well, I mean, he's still young. He's only been in the league 4 years. And, I mean, let's not take anything away from him. I mean, because he had a pretty okay season, a rookie season. And, I mean, actually more than okay. He finished with a 104.9 passer rating, 23 touchdowns, 4 picks. I mean, he was 3,600 yards passing. Like, that's pretty good for a rookie. And he's been consistent with, throwing over 20 touchdowns each year, being north of 3,000 yards. But he is coming off a great season. He almost hit the 5,000 mark for yardage. He was at 49.
Dak's numbers are solid.
Mark. Yeah.
Dak's numbers are solid. I think we both agree. A decent season, anything 3,000 yards, at least 20 touchdowns, and try to say in single-digit interceptions. And Dak pretty much hits all of those. Yeah. But my point is what we saw last year from the Dallas Cowboys. That is who Dak is. Yeah, but that is who they is.
But that's the thing, though.
They put up solid numbers. They put up solid numbers, but they fold in the big moment. Yeah. Not clutch. Clutch.
He needs to, and again, hey, I'm all for everybody getting their chicken, just like Marshawn says. Hey, and I'm all for everybody getting their money, but he needs to be aware too, though, that by asking for that much money, they are also potentially going to be in a rough spot when it comes to building on for the future and for that franchise. I mean, they're already paying Amari Cooper, already paying Zeke. Like, I mean, those three guys right there are pretty much taking up all your cap, and we know that they need to beef up that line just a little bit better. They need to make, I mean, it's one of the greatest offensive lines throughout the NFL. We always know that. The Cowboys have always had a great offensive line. They've been one of the best teams at running the football, since the 90s with Emmitt Smith, but it's just, dude, he needs to remember, though, that by asking for that much money, he's also putting other potential quarterbacks and other people, because the Players Association, the NFLPA, is not going to allow them to be taking cuts like this, or that, like, it's just going to be more and more. So after it's Dak, I mean, we got to remember Patrick is going to be due for his signing. He's definitely going to be put as the highest paid next. So it's just like,
it's become a trend around the league.
Exactly.
Every time a guy is about to get paid, he wants to reset the market. This guy got $100 million. I need 109.
Yeah.
I need 110.
And I think it's really detrimental to the market because, we have so many great quarterbacks.
Other positions are struggling because of the just ridiculous amount of money teams are spending on quarterbacks. And I think recent history shows the quarterback, just because your quarterback is the top paid player on your team, that does not guarantee playoff wins. Yeah. And it definitely doesn't guarantee Super Bowl wins. No. If anything, I think recent history has shown us trying to get a rookie quarterback and then building a great team around him, having more money to build a great team around a guy like Ryan Tannehill. That was coming back to the whole Ryan Tannehill point. Being able to surround, I'm not calling him an average quarterback. I'm not saying average quarterbacks, but being able to surround a guy who you're paying a little less, having that money to build around him, I think that has shown with these last couple Super Bowls what it takes to win in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure. And it like, to add on to what you're saying, it's about adding pieces together. That we've seen, just like in Cleveland, you can bring all the talent that you want and all the personalities that you want that you might think might be good for that roster and good for that locker room, but it's at the end of the day, it's what other players bring that also add to the other players weak spots. Like, okay, for a quarterback like Ryan Tannehill, they went out, they got a couple pieces in the offensive line because he's not that mobile. He's more of a pocket passer when you think of Ryan Tannehill. I'll never forget
that play last year in the playoffs, though, where he tucked it and ran it in for the 2-point conversion.
That was some smart shit.
Trucked old boy.
But majority of the time, he's making his
big boy pants on when you come to tackle Ryan Tannehill. That shit got me hyped.
He's mainly making his passes, though, from the pocket. So they come in, they beef up that line. You got Derrick Henry to weigh in. They re-sign him, give him his money. They're adding to his pieces. They're taking pressure off him, so that in his bad moments, there's always going to be busted plays. We know about that, but it's to minimize all that. That's what it is when it's come to piecing a team together and everything like that. And excuse me, but
coffee.
I think back to the Dak Prescott. I think it's a little bit insane and absurd on his part. Get it? Hey, make your money, dog. What you feel is right and what you're worth. And nobody can ever tell you that you're not. But I feel like just everything that's gonna come from this is, if he does end up signing a deal, that if the Cowboys think, hey, look, Jerry Jones is like, dude, I just offered this guy $175 million and he turned it down.
And you wanna know what? This might sound crazy, but I just think this. With Andy Dalton signing, what leverage does Dak have now?
None.
You know what I mean?
Because let's not take it away from Andy Dalton. Again, this is he's not better than Dak, but he's capable to work that offense. Remember, They have Ezekiel Elliott that they just paid. They have that offensive line that we talked about. He has, Mari Cooper. They brought him back.
CeeDee Lamb.
And they just I just totally forgot too.
They have weapons.
They have weapons around Andy Dalton to take the pressure off. So if we don't see them coming to an agreement by July 15th, which is the deadline, and if Dak don't sign that franchise tag. You know, before the video, you brought up do we see another Le'Veon situation?
Exactly.
Honestly,
you think Dak is gonna hold out?
No, I feel like if he did, he's dumb, and I say this with all the respect because, dude, you just came off career-wise your best season statistically overall round, right?
He was carrying them last year.
So
the 8 wins they were able to pull out,
and Dak is still a young guy that's just coming in his prime. Again, he's only played 4 seasons. You would be an absolute madman to sit out this year and to try to fight.
Years.
You know what I'm saying?
His prime years.
Ball out. Hey, look, if you really don't want to, you know what? Take that franchise tag, bro. What is it? It's a franchise tag for like $30 million for 1 year or something like that.
I think it's the average.
30.2 or something like that. Take that $30 million, ball out. And if they don't come to agreement, you're not liable to sign anything else. You hit free agency. You hit the market. Now, we could see a similar situation to what Kirk Cousins went through and just franchise tag after franchise tag. But I don't think Dak's going to let that happen.
Kirk wanted to sign those franchise tags.
Because he was collecting his chicken. But
Kirk's whole deal was going for the guaranteed money. I think Dak just wants to be the highest paid player by a long shot. You know what I mean?
Well, he also wants, like we were talking about, he wants to be assured that he will have an opportunity to hit free agency again.
One more time.
And he's betting on himself, which is awesome. I like that. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
Bet on yourself. But, dude, who's to say that in 3-4 years from now,
things will be different. The NFL stands for not for long, you know?
You know, and the market's just going to continue to change. But
Patty, if anyone's going to reset, Patty's coming.
Well, he's next. But, man, we're going to continue this conversation in the comment section. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell.